Friends, put your hands together to welcome on stage Quizmaster Big Brain.
Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. You're with me, Big Brain, here today as I wish you a fantastic 2021. You're with me here today to witness the senior final of Questa 21. Well, it's an intra-school extravaganza, as many of you watching this would know, from the PSBB Millennium Group of Schools. Started as an idea to celebrate knowledge and to nurture talent from within the school, it's become a very competitive battle over the last couple of years that we've been doing this. For the first time, we're going digital. We've got 5 contestants from 5 different schools, from 5 different geographies. Let's begin to take a look at who they are before we start playing Questa 2021. Lining up as our first contestant here today, from the PSBB Millennium School of OMR in Chennai, Madhav Kulkarni. Welcome to you. Neighboring Madhav as our second contestant from Coimbatore is Pranava Varshan. Welcome to you, Pranava. From Kadalur, between the Chennai and the Coimbatore geographically speaking, is Nitish, who walks in as our third finalist. Welcome to you. As our fourth finalist representing the Gurugambakam School of PSBB Millennium Schools is Advait. And completing our lineup from the Bengaluru School of PSBB LLA is Lohit Vijayabhaskar. Welcome to you. We've seen our 5 finalists here. Time for us to get started with our battle here today. 5 rounds of quizzing, 100 the value of a right answer on the buzzer, 5 seconds their window of opportunity to answer the question. In those 5 seconds, if they do not answer, the question lapses. 100 the value, so you get 100 or you lose 100, whoever's first on the buzzer. If we are ready, let's begin. As we pick action on the first frontier of our battle, as we enter a new year with a lot of hope, with a lot of belief and a lot of faith that the future will be better than the past, more so this year, it's time for us to still go back and take perhaps one last look at the year that was 2020. Here it comes. 4 questions from the previous year, some of it a tribute, some of it a recognition, some of it just looking back. 100 the value. We start with the first one. Hands on the buzzer. Question on your screen. If you're ready, here we go. Identify a famous personality from the number 33, Marion. Lohit has gone for it on the buzzer. He's quick and he's fast. Yes, Lohit.
Is it Kobe Bryant?
Can you repeat that?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. What do you know about Kobe Bryant?
He was the LA Lakers player who passed away last year.
Well, a tribute to a great sportsman as we begin the senior final. He's got that absolutely right and he'll get the first 100 is Lohit. And we're going to go on to our second question here with that 100 coming in to Lohit, who is from Bengaluru. The second one on your screens now. This is a famous leader who the world lost. Who is this? Nobody on the buzzer on that one. Turns out to be a tough one. The flag was also a clue in the background for you. A famous world leader. Nobody getting anything on that. The answer I was looking for is Hosni Mubarak. And the flag would have been a big clue for you. A former leader of that nation. As we go to the next one, none scoring on the second one. The third one coming up on your screens. connect these to a person. Pranava has gone for it. Life of Pi, lunchbox, namesake.
Irfan Khan.
Irfan Khan, from the Life of Pi to the namesake, all connecting one great personality. Well played on that one. As we go to the final one, two of them on 100. Final one on your screen. Now, all these are books. Lohit.
Pranab Mukherjee.
The former president of India, Pranab Mukherjee, as a writer. Very few would know these things. It's a quick answer to give at his age for something like that. And that takes him to 200 in the first round. Is Pranava on 100, Lohit on 200. So Lohit goes to 200 with that strike. Early days in our battle. And we will move on to the second frontier of our battle with two of them on that scorecard. It's time for us to pick action from around the world. Here it comes. Starting with the first one, the scoring pattern remains the same on your screen now. Which country would you associate to this colorful flag? Beautiful tourist location. Advait has gone for it from Girugambakam.
Is it the Seychelles?
Beautifully played. Seychelles is well answered. Such a lovely flag. And he'll get that absolutely right. Second one on your screens now. Known as the Sidecar Company and more specifically the Swallow Sidecar, this attachment to a motorbike is today a well-known brand of cars owned by an Indian giant now. Which car brand started like this and looked like this? Madhav is giving it a try. Go ahead, Madhav.
Is it Jaguar?
Jaguar, now owned by the Tatas, was actually an attachment to two-wheelers in the olden days. Perfectly played. Oh, beautiful answer on Jaguar. The Swallow Sidecar is today the Jag. Here's the next one. On the buzzer, on your screen, now. It's a beautiful tribute by Amul. A diamond is forever. Who was this for? Lohit is giving it a shot. Go ahead, Lohit.
Okay, just taking a chance. Is it Rishi Kapoor?
Rishi Kapoor, a diamond is forever. Well, if you look at it a little more carefully, the answer is more James Bond. Minus 100 to you, Sean Connery, and Amul giving a tribute to the one and only Sean Connery. The quiz is moving fast. The scores are going up and down. We've got 4 of them on 100 if my mental math is right. If Nitish gets there, we've got a complicated scoreboard. Final one in the second frontier on your screens now. It's a fantastic book which went on to become a great film. Oscar caliber, Madhav Kulkarni. Yes, go ahead, Madhav.
Is it Forrest Gump?
Can I have that again?
Forrest Gump.
Would you know who starred in that movie?
Tom Hanks, if I'm not wrong.
Lovely, lovely. Oh, superb quizzing. Madhav getting that perfectly right. One of my favorite actors in my all-time list and one of my favorite films as well, Forrest Gump. The scoreboard on your screens tells this story. On 200 is Madhav. He's leading by a whisker and Madhav is from OMR. On 100 are Pranav, Lohit and Advait. And Nitish, I'm sure, from Nitish, I think, is from Kadalur, will score shortly. But for the moment, we're going to pick action on the next frontier of our game. We call that as a tribute to the world of people. Here it comes. From the world of people, I've got 4 questions for you. I would advise you to wait for me to ask the question because once the visual comes, don't buzz. The question could be a little tricky. The first one, hands on the buzzer, 100 the value, starting with this one. Identify this statistician and social reformer from world history. Pranava is giving it a go. She was a statistician.
Is it Lady Ada Lovelace?
Well, minus 100 to you on Lady Ada Lovelace, social reformer, statistician. Very few knew she was a statistician or even know today. The answer, Florence Nightingale. Well, tough one as we go to the next one. Identify this actor. A fantastic role playing a pope. Advait is going for it. Yes, Advait?
Is it Anthony Hopkins?
And would you know the name of the movie?
It's from the Two Popes.
Beautiful. 100 to you on two popes, and that gets you to 200. 100 for each pope, perhaps. Well, anyway, as we go to the next one, on your screens, now. Seen here is a young boy with his father, Mr. Lockwood. He was an assistant editor to the Pioneer, as in the newspaper, at Allahabad around 1888. Who is this great journalist, later writer? In a young photograph with his father, while he was at a point in time an assistant editor in Allahabad in India. Nobel laureate, great writer, remarkable storyteller. Someone's taking a chance. Pranava it is.
Is it Rudyard Kipling?
Superb answer. Oh, that's a very high quality answer. Madhav's kicking himself and saying, I should have gone for Rudyard Kipling. Beautifully answered. Pranava regaining what he lost and getting into that 100 which he was on earlier. So four of them in the thick of the battle as we go to the final question in this frontier on your screens now. Two people who have tormented this sport was a heading. Yes, Lohit is going for it. Go on. Lohit, you're on the buzzer. You got to answer. Oh, minus 100. Two people who have tormented this sport, said someone not so long ago. The answer, Duckworth and Lewis. Well, the Duckworth-Lewis system in the world of cricket has created enough confusion for cricketers and others, but by far considered to be the fairest way to judge a match in the event of disruptions. Nonetheless, two people who are always remembered in cricket, Duckworth and Lewis. On that note, let's take a look at where they stand at a fairly fast-paced senior final. Here's the scorecard. Advait from Girugambakam is on 200. Madhav from OMR is also on 200. Pranava is on 100. Lohit has lost ground, but I'm sure he'll try and regain that very quickly. As we go on to the next frontier of our battle here today, it's time for us to pick action on what we call as What's the Good Word? Here it comes. Alright, the L is silent in the word world because we're playing the game What's the Good Word? It's something we used to play as school children, and perhaps a lot of my English developed in this sport. But today, we're going to ask you to choose a word as an answer from the clue that we're going to give you. Here's an example. The scoring pattern remains the same. The number of letters in the answer will appear on your screen as it does. It's just an example. Your answer is the name of a country. Swiss guards protect this place. What's the good word for a country? And no one's going for it. Anyone wants to try? Okay, Nitish wants to try. Yes, Nitish?
Is it Finland?
Finland will fit, but it's the wrong answer. The answer that I would have wanted is Vatican. The Vatican City is protected by the Swiss guards. No negative marks to you. That's just an example. So we're going into the first question on your screens now. How do you play this? 5-letter answer. Unit for magnetic flux density will lead you to a great scientist. Pranava has gone for it. Yes.
Tesla.
Confident, perfect, 100. He'll get that right and he'll move to 200. Oh, it's becoming a tight battle. Here is Questa for the seniors. The next one on your screens now. It's the art and practice of designing something that's called vexillography. Pranava again is going for it.
Flags.
Perfect. Well answered on that one. He gets himself another 100 and I think that takes him into the lead. Vexillography is the art and practice of designing flags or even studying flags. The next one on your screens now. I have no moons. I am the Roman goddess of beauty. Who's on it? Advait.
Venus.
Clever and correct. 100 to you. All these 5 letters are being cracked well. He moves to a 300 as well, if I'm not wrong. The battle's becoming tight and close. And what it'll do is it'll make it a little nervous. Final one in this round. Tricky one, but your generation. Here it comes. I am an anti-metal and I appeared for the first time in 1966 in quote-unquote Daredevil. In the modern world of films, I became extraordinarily famous. Shield me if you can, crack me if you will. Oh, I've given you some amazing clues. Your generation of what you follow so fervently, Madhav. Yes, Madhav.
Is it vibranium?
Vibranium. And your context?
I based it off on Black Panthers and his
Black
shield.
Panther, Captain America, the famous shield will give you 100. Beautifully answered. What a scorecard we've got here at the end of that round on what's the good word. Vibranium being the good word. And the scorecard reads as follows. 300 to Pranava, 300 to Madhav, 300 to Advait. We've got a battle on as we move to the final frontier. Admired by the world. Here it comes. Well, these are things that get admired in this world as leaders, but in a different form. These are not leaders who are necessarily world leaders. They could be things, they could be anything in this world, but they're admired by the world more than anything else. So, leaders of a different form. I'm going to read out the question. You're allowed to press the buzzer and stop me while I'm reading the question if you think you know the answer. The final 4 questions will determine who wins the senior edition of Questa, 3 of them on 300. Nervous final 4 questions as I start with the first one. Hands on the buzzer, nothing appears on your screen, so pay attention to what I have to read out. Here we go. The most famous Indian version of this leader in its category is named after a European. It is also the national tree of Bangladesh. Which famous fruit am I describing? The most famous Indian version, Madhav's going for it, is named after a European.
Alfonso mangoes.
Well played. The mango is the national tree of Bangladesh. Madhav gets another 100 and that takes him forward to a 400. As we go to the second question, hands on the buzzer. Acknowledging leaders and achievers in its field annually, this is actually made of tin, copper and antimony, a thick covering of 24-karat gold, a central figure seen holding a sword. What trophy am I describing? Lohit from Bengaluru.
Is it the Oscars?
Well played. Well played. He's got 100. He's not going to give up easily, but he needs to get the remaining 2 to even challenge for a second place. Madhav on 400 will watch it carefully. 2 others are on 300. They're all going to be calculative. As we go to the third one, hands on the buzzer, question to you. Vijay Madhuri is a well-known businessman. Of late, he is extremely famous in India for owning a soccer team. The soccer team has been doing extremely well from a city better known for its history in India, Pranava.
It's Hyderabad FC.
Lovely, well played. He gets 100 and that takes him to 400 as well. Oh, Pranava needed 100 and he's got that 100 without going into the last question. The last question will determine whether Advait is going to force a tiebreaker or whether it's going to be between Pranava and Madhav, who are both on 400. Final question on a world of leaders in different forms. Mangoes, Oscar statuette, Hyderabad Football Club, a new team that's doing extraordinarily well, to a leader in his own right. The final question of this quiz. Hands on the buzzer. You can buzz when you think you know the answer. Born on the 4th of June 1946, he initially studied engineering. He fell ill and had to drop out of his engineering, but kept pursuing his personal interests. A Padma Bhushan recipient, my father is a Harikatha artist. And the world lost this Guinness record holder in the year 2020. Lohit is giving it a shot, which means we will have a tiebreaker, but go ahead, Lohit.
Is it SP Balasubramaniam?
Well, you've got Giri Balasubramaniam for your quiz master and SP Balasubramaniam for an answer. He's got that absolutely right. Oh, he'll end his quiz with another 100, which takes him to 200. But that's not quite good enough in a battle which has been superbly fought. Pranava on 400, Madhav on 400. Coming up there on that scorecard, Coimbatore versus OMR. We're going to have a tiebreaker to determine who is going to win this quiz. All right. Here's the first tiebreaker question for you. Whoever gets it right wins the championship. All right? First one only for Madhav and Pranava. The rest of you, please don't buzz. It's only between the two of them. I have many records against my name. But one interesting record that does not quite attract me for my many records is the fact that I was the first cricketer in the world to be given out by a third umpire. Who am I? Madhav has gone for it. Yes, Madhav.
Sachin Tendulkar.
Was the first ever batsman to be given out by a third umpire?
I based it off on the many records and on the logical reasoning.
Well, there's Rahul Dravid, Saurav Ganguly, a whole list. You can have 100 cricketers with many records in India. But Madhav Kulkarni, whether it's a quiz or a cricket field, Sachin Tendulkar rarely lets you down. Oh, he's won his quiz. Sachin helping Madhav to become the champion. Pranava really played the game well, but the one odd negative that Pranava took is ending up costing him a lot more than it should have, as he finishes runner-up with a fantastic score of 400. Look at that scorecard. Madhav on 500, Pranava on 400, Advait on 300, Lohit on 200. Superb final. Nitish doing his bit, but being a little slow on the buzzer, but getting into this final. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not about who wins. It's about continuing these platforms of learning that is more important. As a quiz master and as a quizzing company, we do thousands of quiz shows. But I salute educational institutions such as this, which really takes the interest to ensure their children and their learning experiences don't stop because of turbulences like the one we have. Or rather, we'd probably look at it and say we had, as the world becomes more optimistic from 2021 to the future. But for now, congratulations to all the 5 of you. Special congratulations to Madhav, of course, for getting the better among those wonderful champions on your screen. Pranava coming really close from Coimbatore, a school that usually does very, very well. But from me, Pig Brain, truly appreciate this effort. Congratulations to all of them and to all of you sitting in the comfort and safety of your homes. Keep reading, keep quizzing, stay safe. Till we meet again at another quiz from me, thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.
That was an electrifying show. Thank you, sir. Now I request our principal ma'am to address the audience.
Thanks, Giri, for that wonderful show. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Happy New Year. It has now been a tradition for LLA to begin the year with Questa. However, this year's Questa has been unique in its own new digital avatar. My pranams to Mrs. YGP, my beloved mentor and guide. Quizzing always has been our school's forte. The idea of quizzing is to urge students to learn beyond the textbook. We believe that quizzing is also a means to teach. The planning of this prestigious event began months ago. I have been fortunate to have a team of teachers who meticulously planned the prelims, connected with our sister schools, arranged for recording of the finals, and looked into all finer details of the program. Our VP and HM are always there for me, supporting at every point of time. With prelims conducted at the school level, one finalist was chosen from each of the schools for the junior and senior categories. I am proud of each participant for representing your respective schools in this year's Questa. I feel each one of you is a winner for having competed with your peers in school. Our sincere gratitude to Mr. YG Rajendra, our chief guest for this yearly extravaganza. Sir has always been enthusiastic about Questa and is an avid quiz follower. Questa being Sir's brainchild, we can't think of any other chief guest to grace this occasion. I must thank Mrs. Sheila Rajendra, Dean, PSBB Group of Schools, wholeheartedly for her guidance and encouragement. I am ever grateful to Mr. Shantanu Prakash for being a pillar of support and motivating us to go beyond the four walls of the classroom. Mr. Sundaram, Vice President Operations, is ever ready to extend his support to all our events. We are thankful to Mr. Giri and his team from Grey Caps for holding the competition virtually this year. My special thanks to my friends, heads of the schools of the PSBB Millennium Schools. God bless.
I now request our dear Principal Ma'am to kindly do the honours. The runner-up in the junior event is Raghav Manikam, PSBB Millennium School, OMR. The runner-up in the seniors event, Pranava Varshan, PSBB Millennium School, Coimbatore. The winner of the junior category, Vineet Krishna, PSBB Learning Leadership Academy, Bengaluru. The winner in the seniors category, Madhav Kulkarni, PSBB Millennium School, OMR. Congratulations to the winners. The prestigious Mrs. YGP Rolling Trophy for Questa 2021 goes to PSBB Millennium School, OMR.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Wow, what extraordinary quizzing. It was a pleasure to witness each participant's enthusiasm, confidence and knowledge. Every moment was electrifying and challenging, wasn't it? Beating all the odds, PSBB Learning Leadership Academy, Bangalore has emerged winners in the junior finals and PSBB Millennium School, OMR has emerged as winners in the senior finals. The overall championship and the prestigious Mrs. YGP trophy is backed by PSBB Millennium School, OMR. It was indeed an enthralling experience. Winning is fun, sure, but winning is not the point. Wanting to win is the point. Not giving up is the point. Never letting up is the point. Never being satisfied with what you've done is the point. This is so true of all the students who participated today. On behalf of the management, principal, staff and students of PSBB Learning Leadership Academy, Bengaluru, it gives me immense pleasure to render the vote of thanks after this phenomenal event, Questa Season 6. This event would not have been possible without the constant support and encouragement of Ms. Sheila Rajendra, Dean and Director, PSBB Group of Schools, Chennai, Mr. Shantanu Prakash, Managing Trustee, Learning Leadership Foundation, and Mr. Sundaram, Vice President, Operations. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sirs. I take this opportunity to thank our chief guest, YGR sir, for gracing the occasion on this wonderful day. A big thanks to Mr. Giri Balasubramaniam for having made this event yet another memorable one. We thank all the participants who have been great sports throughout the event. A loud shout out to our principal, the teachers and the students for making Questa 2021 not only possible but also a great success. Well, my dear friends, it has been such an eventful day, an amalgamation of excitement, awe and joy. Indeed, we shall cherish this all our lives. Thank you all.